Well, I don't know about that.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this CTFO Zoom event. My name is Adam Levy from Canton, Connecticut. This is Tuesday Night Live. We do it every Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live every Tuesday. So excited. A lot of things happening. Here we are, kind of wrapping up the summer months, right? We got people that are now kind of coming out of the woodwork to come play with us. This is the time of year I think is one of the most fruitful times of year in our industry where people kind of get back to business. They're done with their vacations and you can actually get a hold of people, which is kind of nice. But I got to say, I was out on the water today and we have stand-up paddle boards, my wife and I, and we haven't been out much this summer, but we did get to go out today. It was absolutely gorgeous. Wanted to go swimming. The water was actually that warm here in the middle of, early part of September anyway, in Connecticut. And, it dawned on me, here we are, it's a Tuesday afternoon, and we are the only people on SUPs on the lake. There's a few people swimming. There's a couple of people on boats, but on the entire lake, we had the whole place pretty much to ourselves.
Wow.
And that, to me, kind of speaks volumes about the freedom of lifestyle that our business model affords you. To be able to just say, okay, it's Tuesday afternoon. We don't have to ask anybody. Let's just go. The weather's nice. And I think tomorrow it's going to be like almost 80 degrees. We might have to go again tomorrow. But I'm excited about the lifestyle that CTFO has been able to afford myself and so many others that are really just ramping up their businesses and creating a residual income. And tonight I have a really special guest that has joined us, and that's Reay. Ev, we're so glad that you could join us tonight. You're 35K. You've done that in a very short period of time. Um, please tell us a little bit about, what was it, maybe a little of your background, but also what was it about CTFO that had you say, hey, you know what, I'm ready to do this again, and this is where I'm planting my flag. Ev?
Hey, thank you so much, Adam. And hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great evening. And it's nice to see you all on the call here tonight. And thanks for inviting me, Adam. I'm honored to be here for sure. Well, let's see. Where will I start? Well, let me just start by telling you that I have been around this industry since, well, a very long time. Let's just say that 35 plus years. I've been, in and out of network marketing, mostly in. And I've had a lot of fun, a lot of growth. It's been a fabulous education. It's been a wonderful life. I've met so many absolutely amazing people. It afforded me the opportunity to do what I wanted to do the most, which was I always was conceited enough to think that no one could do a better job at raising my four kids than I could. And I wanted to stay home with them. But I also wanted to, my older brother used to always say to me when I was a young woman, he'd say, honey, always just do a little something, even if you're at home with the kids, make a little bit of money just to take the pressure off your husband a little bit. And so that was what I always did. And I was always able to do that, one way or another. And so that was always really cool. And I also owned my own traditional business. I had one job, and my daughter said it wasn't really a job, Mom, because I just contracted my skill set out, but it was actually something I love to do. And I just want to address it just a little bit. I worked for a nonprofit organization, and what they did was they did counseling, marriage counseling, drug addiction, alcohol addiction. There was a staff of, specialists, psychologists, counselors, and I was their public relations person, and I did all of their advertising for them, and I raised all their money, and I was really good at it. And so, and it was just a wonderful thing. So basically why we did that was we did that because if people couldn't afford to, they needed help, but they couldn't afford to pay for help, then the money we raised supplemented to pay for, their services that they were going to be getting. It was a very satisfying job. And I really just really did love it. So that was mixed up though with always having a little side, they call it nowadays, they kind of call it a side hustle. At my age, that would have been a really naughty word. And so we didn't call it that. That was my little part-time thing. But then I got pretty serious about, network marketing, and I was with a fairly big company for the better part of just about 17 years and had some success there. And really, it was a great place. I built a team of, oh, I don't know. It was a binary. So altogether there was, maybe close to 40,000 people there.
Wow.
And it was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. So, but nothing lasts forever. And so I just went on a different path, and the last 3, 4 years, I've had actually a lot of health challenges. So I decided I was retired, and I was just tired, but I also decided to retire. And so when CTF came along in February, I just had come I decided to try one last kind of thing, and I joined a company in November, and I made the decision that I would give it 90 days. I'd
Hmm.
give it a try for 90 days. And I know that that doesn't sound like a lot and to some people, but well, how could you do that in 90 days? But I figured with my experience, I should be able to, really dive in and figure out if this was going to be something for me after 90 days. And indeed, I did find that out. The company they had a good product, but they weren't ready for their growth. We spent a
Mm.
whole lot of time, looking for product. It got really nasty really quick, and I just decided I'm done. So Bill McMunn is the gentleman. If any of you have watched any of his videos, he's a coach. He's an amazing guy, and I knew him for about the better part of 20 years from our other company. And we didn't work together. We were sidelined, but we had a mutual respect for one another. We were both trainers and coaches, and so he called me and asked me if I would be willing to take another look. Would you look at something else? And I said, oh my gosh, no, I'm still licking my wounds here. Like, this is like
Right.
a day, for goodness sake. Anyway, so he kind of persisted, and he said, Ev, he said, really, the reason I'm making the call is it's about your health. I really believe that it has value, and that you would find it, that it would help you. So I just told him I'd take a look. And so I said, who am I meeting? And he said, Ted Wilson. And so I knew Ted from another, just briefly. I didn't really know Ted, but I'd met him just once, when he was with another company. And I said, well, I live in Edmonton and Ted lives in Kelowna. And he said, well, no, Ted's actually living down in your area now. And so anyway, we set it up, and I met with Ted. And it was a memorable meeting for sure.
Mm.
And I went very skeptical, very reserved, not really open at all. But I went respectfully because that's what I do. I don't think anybody should ever say no to anything completely. We should always be open. And so I met with Ted. My daughter and I went. I took my daughter because she is the most skeptical person I know. And I thought, she'll size him up. She'll figure out whether this is a fit for us. And, of course, you don't have to know Ted for more than about 20 minutes and you're in love with him, right? So that's what
Absolutely.
happened. And I fell in love with another man. I have been married, by the way, to my wonderful husband, John, for 38 years. And I
There you
have
go.
4 beautiful growing children. I have a grandson that's 21 and a granddaughter that's graduating from high school this year. And so we have a full, life that's full of love and but my husband is getting ready to retire, and we don't have the money put aside that we wanted to have put aside. So I'm still needing to do something. At least I was wanting to do something. So, and glutathione, what's the product? It's glutathione. And I was trying to remember a little bit about glutathione from my past, but the present glutathione story that I knew was when I was going through my medical challenges, I was doing research. And every time I turned around, I would find out that I was missing glutathione. And so I just didn't know where to get it because I also read and understood that my body was not going to absorb it
Right.
so I did use another glutathione product for about 6 months. It was a swish that you swished in your mouth.
Yep.
And but I don't know, it maybe helped a little bit. But when I started using Vital for Life, and of course Ted, he's the I see Ted on the call here. Hi, Ted. He's He's a professional. And so he came, armed with product and said, here, take this home, try it, which is really the way you should. And I just started taking it right away. And, I just thought I'm going to just test drive this product and see what happens. And I got to tell you, it's been March, April, what are we here? 6 months in. It's been phenomenal. I have to have blood work done about every 6 weeks because of a pretty serious diagnosis I had back in 2012. And my doctor, he just is over the moon. He said, Ev, your blood work has never been this good in 12 years. And so
Wow.
pretty excited, pretty thankful. And when God gives you a gift, you have a moral obligation to share it. And
What a
so
great
that's what I've
story.
been doing, Adam.
Well, you've been doing an amazing job at that. I'm so glad that somebody had thought of you about your health.
Mhm.
And it sounds to me like you started out with the Vital for Life, all four products.
Correct.
Yeah, I know Ted's focused. I know what he's doing, and the great thing about that approach is that you have such a greater chance of helping one's health with those
Mhm.
four products versus a hit or miss with one or two products, even if they are as great as our missed products are. But having all four obviously made a huge difference for you. Your doctors even reported it, and then from that point on, you were off to the races, and you went to 35k. Talk to me a little bit about how you ramped your business up that quickly.
Hmm. Well, I love what happened because there as soon as you tell somebody that you've been in the industry for a long time and you built a big downline, and they can get the wrong idea. They might think that oh well, all Ev had to do was pick up the phone and call so and so, and they came over, and that's not what happened at all. I had been out of the industry for a while, plus I have a pretty strict ethical moral code that I live under. And so I really built organically. And what I mean by that is I literally, I look at, it just, typically it's a group of women, women, we do things together, and, we're always researching and looking at how to, make things happen, and, how do we better our health, particularly as we're, aging. And so that's what I did. I talked to my friends, not to say that we hadn't done business together in other things we had, but nothing huge, nothing like significant, really. So I just started talking to people. And but I think what is my superpower, if there's such a thing as to, what it would be, is, well, first of all, I just like completely love people. That's for starters. I love people. I care deeply, about the people that I care about. I care deeply, but I also care about people I don't know as well, just humanity in general. But I think if I have a superpower, it's my ability to be able to be patient, keep my mind in check, like I try not to tell myself too many stories. But in the beginning, that wasn't the case really. When I was first looking at going back in, I really had lost my confidence because I had actually been really ill for
Hmm.
at
Yeah.
least 4 years. My daughter was just telling me today, she said, Mama, I hardly recognize you. When I think back to the way you were even a year ago, it's really quite incredible. And so I'd lost my confidence. I didn't know if I could do it anymore. I'm too old. Who's going to want to, the stories, we tell ourselves. And I really have to say, I give complete credit to both Ted and Bill McMunn for helping me to believe in myself again. Just their gentle, loving care that they took with me, acknowledging my experience in the industry, recognizing pretty early in, well, Bill knew me from, a long time, but Ted didn't. Recognizing my gifts, helping me to believe in myself that I could, again, I have something still, even at my age, to contribute. So I give them complete credit for that.
I hear you talking about the really I like to call it the emotional weather, right? You have to
Mhm.
control your own emotional weather, and
Right.
it sounds like you were going through a stormy time emotionally.
Hmm.
about whether you could do this or not. And always the remedy for that is to surround yourself with positive people, people like Ted and Bill, with positive messages, and just be engaged. And it sounds like you had a recipe of all those things that kind of got you back on track into where moving in the direction where you ultimately deserve to be.
Thank you so much for that, Adam. I appreciate that. And I received that. And I think that was even part of my problem was that I didn't really know whether I deserved to be there. But I do know that I deserve to be here. And because I have a strong work ethic, and I think that's the thing. So, opportunity is the expressions, opportunity appears when, at the same time as the work, you do the work and opportunity is going to magically appear. And everybody thinks, oh, wow, they just did it. But really, what I was going to go back into what I think is my magic sauce is I know how to build depth in a
Mm.
team. I've always known how to do that. And so people say, well, how did you rank advance? I don't even keep track of this stuff. Ted does, thankfully. Although Ted and I really haven't talked about this, but I think he could confirm. I think I looked back for some reason just the other day on the CTFO company website,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I looked at the dates because I seriously do not focus on stuff like this at all, which everybody that knows me will tell you. And I thought, wow, I think I rank advanced every month that I was here. Just okay, this is the next level, this is the next level. And I don't say that, to brag, but because it wasn't that at all. It was really just hooking, up with the right people, locking arms and saying, I want to advance my girlfriend to 5K, to 2K, to 10K. And so that's what it's all about. And I don't know, Ted would have to confirm, but I don't know. Somebody told me a week or so ago that they thought maybe I had about 38 or 40 advancements in my business in the past.
Wow.
I
And congratulations on that. And by the way, the focus that you and your team have been on the Vital for Life. Everybody is pretty much doing the same thing, correct?
Absolutely. So, when the first time I ever talked to Stu
Hmm.
uh, Finger, he said to me that the very first conversation, Ted has this habit of just putting me on the phone with people and not telling me that they're there. That's how much he trusts me, I guess, not to say something really crazy. But anyway, one of these days I'll probably surprise him. But Stu told me, he said, Ev, he said, and you all have probably heard him say this before, if I could find a way to give this product away for free, I would.
Mm.
And so in May, when they announced the Vital for Life, refer three, get one free, I mean, I sent him a text and I said, wow, Ted, I said, oh, wow, Stu, you did it. You found a way to give the product away for free. And he said, well, as close to it as I could, if people want to take advantage of it. And I'm like, I'm taking advantage of it because you see, here's what I knew that was an industry disruptor. Now, keeping in mind as well that it was a promotion.
Right.
So I remember, in my other business, I used to work with a gal. She was actually my childhood friend, and she wasn't a network marketer. She was my best friend. So she just wanted to be around me and do whatever I was doing. So she was an accountant. She took care of all my money, for meetings and,
Sure.
things like that. And she said to me one time, I'm really shocked that people in this business don't earn all the earn all the stuff. They give away all the prizes. And I said, well, why does that shock you? She said, well, because if they all just would do their work, they'd all win the prizes. And I always remember her saying that and thinking, yeah, true story. If you just do your work, you're going to win the prize. And in our case, the prize, of course, is money. It's helping you reach your goals. In my case, it's wanting to retire my darling husband. So I'm,
That's a pretty
that's
good
my
goal to
goal,
have right there. Right? That'll
Yeah, that's
motivate you,
exactly
right?
right. Yeah.
You
So,
did.
and so what I do is what I'm good at is I'm good at talking to people and listening to them, and I'm good at asking them questions. And so I ask them the question, what do you want? Why are you here? What are you doing here? What do you hope to achieve? And depending on what their answers, I remember them, I write them down, and I think, okay, she told me she wants five. I had a woman tell me the other night, she's a senior, and I said, tell me what you want. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, what do you hope to achieve in the next, let's say, 90 days? And she said, I want to make $550. And I said, oh, and what's it for? And she said, to pay my condo fees.
Mm.
And I said, great. So I'm going to hold her feet to the fire. I'm going to, I'm going to show her, first of all, I'm going to say, do you know how to do that? And she's going to say, probably no. And then I'm going to say, well, my job is to show you how to do it. So I'm going to show her how to make $550. And then we're going to go for it. And so it's a beautiful story, network marketing, because here's the story. When I can help 40 people rank advance, well, automatically, you
Yeah,
know,
it
I'm
moves
going to
you
get
up.
what
That's
I
the way that
want,
works.
which is to retire my husband. That's how it works, right? So
Well,
it's a
you've asked. I mean, I've taken some notes here. I love the thing about asking questions, and you talked a little bit about one of your secret sauces is building in depth, and that's
mhm,
really boils down to again asking lots of questions, but building relationships with the ones that they know, who they know, who they know in your group, as if they were yours. Would
correct.
that be accurate?
No, that's completely accurate because here's what can happen. First of all, the reason you do that is twofold. You want to support the people you bring in. So let's just say that I'm working with my one of my besties. Her name is Christy Bennell. She's a 10K. So we're rank advancing Christy, and I'm not thinking about that. Oh, I'm going to rank advance Christy, and I'm going to be a 15K. I'm rank advancing Christy, and so I look in her organization with her and I say, Christy's on the call tonight, actually. Hi, Christy.
I see her up
And
there.
I say to her, hey, Christy, and we have a horrible expression we use. I don't even know if I should say this because
Go
it's not very,
ahead.
but I
We're all
say,
friends
hey,
here.
I always just say, hey, who's who in the zoo? And, who wants to play? Who
Who's
wants to
who?
play with us right
Write that
now?
down.
So I go down into her organization and she helps me and I help her and we identify, who told us what. Oh, well, she wants to make $500, so we need to get her to 2K and she wants a little bit more. We got to get her or him to 5K. So we start working, that. We identify that. So two things are happening. I'm helping her, but also when I build relationships with those people under her, if something happened to Christy, Christy had a situation. Her father lives in California and he was ill. And at any moment, Christy could have to go to California and maybe she's going to be gone, 2 or 3 weeks. If I haven't built relationships with her team, then I can't fill in for her. But
Hmm.
if I have relationships, then we can carry on, and take that burden off of her while she goes to do what she needs to do. So it's a twofold situation, of what you're working there. And you do that with several different people, whoever wants to play. And that's the key. You
Who's
have
who in
to
the zoo?
who's who in the zoo?
I
Who
love
wants
that.
to play? Who wants, who do you identify that
Yeah.
wants to now the promotions that's the
Hmm.
key. The promotion's the key. So when your company tells you, hey, listen, if you refer three, you get yours free for the rest of your life, you go like, what? I mean, you can ask Ted, I must have said what about 1,500 times. Like, what? This can't be.
Yeah.
And so, because here's the thing, I qualified 5 months in a row. Well, I'll tell you for you Americans that are on here that you don't know, a Vital for Life pack costs us Canadians $220.
Hmm. That's a big difference.
So we pay $220 in Canada for a life pack. Well, if I've got that 5 times free, do the math.
Hmm. That's
And
that's significant. That's absolutely a big
my
savings.
husband, the same thing. Do the math. My daughter, the same thing. That's like over 3 grand, 3 people saved in product purchases. So you start working that promotion. You don't know how long the company's going to continue the promotion. They tell you it's going to go till the end of June, the end of July, the end of August, now it's the end of September. Well, we're going to have a hard stop the end of September.
That's
So
right.
what do you think I'm going to do? I'm
You're
going to
going
get
you're going crazy till the end of September on that
You
promo.
better believe it. I got 20 days to get everybody that we know and love Vital for Life qualified.
Now, the exciting thing too is that there's this new promo that is going on concurrently with
Mhm.
that last ditch effort for the people who want to get to their, get their three for and get their Vital for Life for free. But now there's a $5,000 enroller pool, right?
Correct.
And you have to enroll three new people. and sales volume needs to be at least 500, right? And if you do
Correct.
that, you get a piece of the pool. And that's something that, is pretty exciting for a lot of people. Get a nice extra chunk of change added to their check for just enrolling 3 people, which they should be doing anyway, right?
Correct. Like my friend Jerry said, if they were just doing their job, they'd all win the prize, right?
That's
And
the way
so
that goes.
when you think about the enroller pool, enroll three, 500 in volume. So let's just say you have 3 people, 2 of them choose to purchase, the Vital for Life pack, but one of them decides that, I'm going to purchase, a Freedom pack. Well, look at the you're looking at over 7, you're looking at 800, in volume. Well,
Right?
you've qualified. And so when you the other thing that I do with people, I'm like super honest. There's a concept. I'm super honest, and here's how I present my honesty to people. Hey, let me ask you something, Adam. I'm telling you about CTFO, I'm telling you whatever, and I'm going to talk to you about pricing of the product, okay? And your options to purchase. Adam, is it okay with you if I give you the whole enchilada? Well, what do you mean? Well, if I tell you everything right from the bottom up, or from the
Top
top down,
down.
I want to tell you the whole thing. Because, Adam, I don't want you coming back to me later on and saying, you know what, Ev? Wow. Had you told me about that Freedom Pack, I'd have saved a little bit of money, and saving money is really important to me. Why didn't you tell me about that? So I never do that. I believe that I want to know everything. I want the right to make an informed decision. So I just go on the assumption that everybody I'm talking to wants the same thing. So out of love and respect, I ask them if I can tell them the whole story. And I have never once ever had somebody say no. So I tell them the whole story. And this is how much it would cost if you do this. And if you do this, this is what it's going to cost. If you do this, this is what it's going to cost. And in Canada, I don't say, oh, it's $148 American. I don't say that. I say it's $220 Canadian. And guess what that equates to? That equates to a venti latte at Starbucks once a day for 30 days. And they go like, oh, okay. Or this idea. And so I think it works. Well, I guess it must.
It must be working. You're doing something right. Listen, we're coming a little short on time, but I want to end on this last note. I know you've done some live events, and I know that's been a part of what you've been doing.
Mm,
And there's a big one coming up in Edmonton, Alberta on October
yes.
19th. I know that Stu Finger will be there. I know Kevin Fournier is flying up for it. I too am considering coming to visit you guys.
Yay.
So just talk to me a little bit about this event coming up, and also, how important live events have been to your growth.
Live events have been like they're key. And what is a live event? A live event is, going back old school and inviting some people over to sit in your living room and talk about, what we're doing and what we're excited about, or having a barbecue and having people over. So, and what I was, taught to do in the industry was to build from event to event. And so, we had a little hiccup there with COVID, but that was only a couple of years. That's nothing in this big scope of 30 or 40 years, right?
Right.
And so, we were wondering how my partner, Sam Skinner, and I, we were just really wondering, how are we going to keep the whole thing going over the summer? Summer is tricky, especially where we live, because it's going to be
Absolutely.
cold in about a month, right? And
Hmm.
summer is valuable to people. They want to go to the lake. They want to, anyway, you know what? We were working. He was on a goal. I was on a goal. We had a whole bunch of people in our team that said they were on a goal. So we decided to try a Thursday night event. It was like a big thing. Okay, let's try it out. We were
Yep.
willing to pick up the cost between the two of us. So we scheduled a Thursday night event at a hotel. We wanted it to be somewhere where it was, just really common ground. People could come. I always pick a hotel that has a restaurant because the meeting always happens after the meeting. And
Right.
so, oh my gosh, we completely sold out the room. You know, uh, we had a room that would hold 50 people, and we just did our first meeting in a new hotel because we had to move, for a bigger facility. And
Wow.
so events are extremely important. So now we'll spend our Thursday nights and we'll be talking and talking about the regional that's coming out on October the 19th, why they need to be there, who they're going to meet, what it's going to do to their business. We're going to sell tickets, and you want to invite your guests because we're having an opportunity meeting, and you want to come because Adam Levy's going to be there. And Kevin's going to be there and you're going to meet the owner and the president. We're going to talk it up because quite frankly, it's a big deal
Mm,
because you literally could be in a company like this and maybe never meet the owner if
absolutely.
you don't make some kind of huge effort to get out to the event, right? It's going to be amazing. And so that's what we do. We just keep going and then that one will end and then we'll go to the next thing and on and on and on.
I really appreciate you hopping on here. Your energy is amazing. I could interview you for like another hour, but we try to keep ours to really short so
That's
people can hop
awesome.
on and get back to work. But you've been amazing, and what a great bunch of notes that I've got. I hope everybody took notes. There's a Super Saturday coming up. It's now, I believe, on the 21st of this month. It's been moved for important reasons, but that should be amazing. And again, get registered for the event in Edmonton, Alberta. There's still tickets available for that. You should easily be able to find that. I'll also post it on Biz Builders, so you can get that. That's October 19th. If you have anybody in the western side of Canada, please plug them into that event. That is going to be a great event. I remember when we first got going with Ted Wilson, who's on the Zoom here. He did an event in Calgary to kind of launch his business, and it was like a mini convention. And oh, I see he's posted there. He's got a link on the notes there. So if you guys want to click on the chat, you can actually see what those are. But what an incredible leader and leadership event that's going to be. Again, Stu Finger will be at that. Also, Kevin Fournier at that. I'm planning on getting my tickets to go as well, and it should
Awesome.
be an amazing time. So with that, Ev, again, so glad you could hop on here. It's been incredible getting to know you and spend some time with you on the cruise, the leadership cruise, and I can just see such huge things for you in the future with our company.
Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate the support, and you've been a great support for me as well. And we don't do this alone. We're not islands. We
Nope.
need to humble ourselves and lock arms and just say, I need help. And can you help me? Just like I did with you. And I'm like, Adam, can you help me with some things? And you were like, yeah, I can, Ev. And you barely know me. And so it's really a very cool industry. There's nothing like it. It's the most democratic way to do business in the world.
Absolutely, 100%. So, anyway, this has been Tuesday Night Live. We do it every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us tonight, Ev. Great, great job. Everybody, thanks for hopping on tonight. We'll see you all on next week's call. Bye bye for now.
Bye.
Goodbye.